Now, Mr Wood, you're aware of CASA MOS 139H?
Yes, Senator.
Requires certain equipment to be online and being available for use by ARFS.
Yes, Senator.
To be at the required category. So it's not a maybe, that's a must, isn't it?
Well, it is, Senator, but it's not linked to category. But yes, there are requirements to have certain equipment available, Senator, yes.
So is ARFS currently fully compliant with MOS?
No, we do not have a rescue saw as described by the Manual of Standards online at the moment, Senator.
Interesting. So why wouldn't you have why wouldn't your vehicles be equipped with a power saw?
Because we've looked at that piece of equipment, Senator. It's a simply piece of equipment that's out of date and not fit for purpose, and it presents a significant safety hazard to our people. We've decided that based on that, we will remove it from service. And in making that decision, Senator, we had a look at our past history, and we cannot see when we've ever used that piece of equipment. It's simply been outdated. We've looked at incidents around the world in the last 15 years, and that type of power saw has not been used. We have later generation, as you would know, as jaws of life and that sort of equipment that can do some of that work. It is not a rescue saw, we know that. And we've also got arrangements in place with the local fire service to bring their rescue saw. And in terms of moving forward, Senator, we've completed some research. There is more modern kit available. We've completed a concept of operations, and I expect we'll be approaching market in the next few weeks, and the safety regulator is aware of the removal of that piece of equipment because of the safety risk it presents to our staff.
Okay. Is there a requirement for them to be equipped with power saws currently under that MOS?
For us, Senator, yes, there is.
But you decided not to do it?
For the safety of our staff, yes, Senator.
How long have you not been equipped with the power saws?
Late last year, but I'd need to take the date on notice, Senator.
How are firefighters expected to force entry into an aircraft fuselage, locked structures or vehicles involved in accidents if they are required to effect rescue and save lives? If they don't have the equipment that's under the thing? You're saying the Metropolitan might have a saw?
Not only, Senator. So, as I said, that piece of equipment is simply an out-of-date piece of equipment for its intended use. And even ICAO states, Senator, that more modern equipment may be available. We have more modern equipment, as in that absolute latest generation, as you would know, jaws of life, cutting and spreading equipment. That equipment can be used to perform those functions. It is, yes, it doesn't perform all the functions as well. A power saw has certain functions, but it just presents a significant safety risk to our people, and we've decided to remove it from service.
And, you know, so you've just advised CASA that you're just not going to comply because it's not safe. Is that what you're saying?
We've advised CASA that for the safety of our staff, we've removed it, and in doing that, we have work underway to look at an alternative solution that is more fit for purpose and in line with what we need it to be used for.
What about ladders? Is it true that your authority, that under your authority, no aviation firefighter is currently allowed to train with ladders over 2 metres?
That's correct, Senator.
I don't want to laugh, but I mean, I got this vision of, you know, firefighters going up ladders that are about 30 metres high, not 2 metres.
Yeah, well, we take the safety of our people very seriously, Senator, and there is a risk of fall from a ladder, and we've examined that issue, and we've determined that at this time we will restrict our firefighters from climbing up ladders greater than 2 metres so they can still practice the necessary skills while we form a working group to look at an improved way going forward, and whether that improved way includes harness systems and the like.
So no aviation firefighters are currently under your own training policies working with ladders?
No, they can work with ladders, Senator. They just can't climb ladders in that sense above 2 metres. So we've introduced portable stairs and the like.
So you believe?
Seriously, you need to start that answer again.
Sorry, let's...
They can work with ladders, they just can't climb up them.
No, they can practice the skills up to 2 metres high, Senator. You may laugh, but it's a serious thing.
Okay, so you believe it's too dangerous to use a ladder in controlled training environment, but it's okay to use them in a fire or to conduct a rescue?
So let's put this into perspective, Senator. In our business, for every 100 times we use a ladder, we likely use it in training 99 times out of those 100. So this significantly reduces the risk from a fall from height from a ladder. We have restrictions in place for operational use, where the ladders can no longer be used as a work platform. They can be simply used at an entry and exit point from a different height.
So you can use it in a real situation, but you can't train with it. Is that correct?
Ladders are still a piece of equipment that fire brigades around the world use, Senator. We're just stepping forward and no longer accepting previous and existing practice, and we'll continue to challenge that. We've determined that the fall from height potential is there, so we've put some restrictions in place in the training space.
How many passenger aircraft have exits that are less than 2 metres
Just
high?
hold on, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
But you know, no, but seriously, the question or the observation before that the movies where the fire truck ladders go up like 10 stories, and firemen that have got more gear on them than a miner, got ticks and picks and hats and crap, they scurry up them. That's okay.
No, workplace health and safety requirements are changing all the time, Senator, the safe systems of work.
So are you telling me that if I'm staying in a hotel over one floor in my city now, so I'm trying to be serious about this, but now it's getting more serious because I'm frightened of fire. If I'm up on the 4th floor, there's no way they're coming to save me. Is that right?
That's not right, Senator.
So the fireman in the Brisbane Fire Brigade, he's coming up a ladder 4 or 5 or 6 stories to get me.
Correct.
Well, thank Christ for that.
Yes.
However, if I'm in the back of a Boeing that's more than 6 feet off the ground, ain't no ladders coming up.
Incorrect, Senator. So
right,
operational
well,
use.
Up because
they just can't train on the ladder.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
No, it's not,
They can
Senator.
train on the ladder, but they're restricted to going no higher than 2 metres. On the ladder. So they on the ladder on training on the scenario
Yeah, but
that they're doing. So they're still getting up.
You talk about you talk about making a safe environment to work.
Absolutely,
You go, well,
Senator.
listen, you can't go over this side unless there's flames and planes blowing up around you and you've got shit in your nappy. You can then go above 2 metres. Why can't you set up a training environment where they're harnessed to the roof and could go up as high as they like, and if they fall, it's like one of those theme parks or something.
So, Senator, if you allow me to explain, that's exactly what we're looking at, and while we look into that, we've decided to prevent training.
Well, you should share that stuff earlier with us before we get excited.
I'm trying to explain it.
Well,
no, you didn't. You had 5 or 10, and you had people rolling around the floor around you. You could have given us a crack on that a minute ago.
But in all seriousness, to go to the Chair's point, how many aircraft exits are less than 2 metres high? Because if you get a 380,
correct,
you're not looking at 2 metres off the ground. That's not even the first floor's off 2 metres off the ground.
and our staff will still use ladders in an operational context, Senator.
Okay, but they just can't train on them.
They can train on them, Senator, because there's basically 4 skills to a ladder: getting on it, getting off it, going up it and coming down it. And you can practice those skills up to 2 metres. So it's a temporary measure while we do some work to look at a safer system, particularly in the training area for our staff.
I've got a series of questions, as you might have gathered by now. So what steps have you taken to provide... No pun intended. What steps have you taken to provide alternate means for which firefighters can safely use to access elevated work platforms as a means of fighting fires or effecting rescue and saving lives?
So there's a number of measures we've put in place, Senator. So firstly, we've just purchased our first air-stair vehicle, which is a type of vehicle that will assist our firefighters to get into aircraft instead of using a ladder. Secondly, at all our locations, Senator, we've done a lot of work around with the airports to make sure that portable stairs are available. And we just had experience of this last week in Cairns, where there's an aircraft evacuation and the portable stairs turned up and everything worked as it should. So there is work underway, Senator.
We don't want to... Well, we're getting through this quite quickly, even though it is amazing to most of us. What about hoses? Would it be fair to say a fire hose is one of the most important tools of a firefighter?
Absolutely, Senator.
Okay. Is it true you exempted the whole ARFFS under your own authority from complying with Australian standards on fire hose testing?
No, it's not, Senator.
Ah.
It sounds like Senator Gallagher's got a mole, Mr Wood.
Is it true that you attempted to exempt ARFFS from this requirement?
No, it's actually the opposite, Senator. So we identified that we were not complying with the Australian standard for hose testing, so we put out a directive for all locations to move to that standard as quickly as we can. Okay. It's important that we do test our hoses, Senator, to a standard. It's just not the Australian standard test pressure.
Do you possess the authority to exempt yourselves and your government organisation from compliance with an Australian standard?
Sorry, Senator?
Do you possess the authority to exempt yourself and your government organisation from compliance with an Australian standard?
No, we'd need to seek exemption from the safety regulators.
You can't do it of your own volition?
Unless there was an immediate safety issue that we saw, Senator. So we did put measures in place to get our hoses tested as...
Senator, no, we can't, Senator.
Okay. And CASA, MOS and regulations require ARFFS to comply with Australian standards for equipment?
They do. It does, Senator, yes.
By non-compliance, are you therefore also non-compliant? If you're by non-compliance with Australian standards, are you therefore non-compliant with CASA regulations?
We are non-compliant with that regulation, Senator. We've notified the safety regulator that we've identified a deficiency and non-compliance, and we're moving to meet the Australian standards, Senator.